African youth are like an empty jug, just waiting to be filled with wells of wisdom. We need to get to a place where, most African people, the young people, when you ask them, what is your level of success? What do you want? I want to go to US. I want to go to Europe. You understand? They look at that, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I was in the UK, I've gone to the US, beautiful places. But that cannot be the measure of success or the measure of what young people are looking up to. So yes, we have to do something in this society very, very quickly, because there's what we call an overload of information. When I was growing up, we didn't have Facebook, we didn't have Twitter, we didn't have Instagram. But now there's an overload of information. When you wake up in the morning, when you look at your phone, every feed is coming. Twitter's coming, Instagram is coming, Facebook is coming, with all sorts of things, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So there's an overload of information. We need to center people, tell them, take a step back and go slow. Yes, sir.
You describe yourself as a life coach?
Yes.
In different areas of life?
Yes.
You're quite traveled?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What are those personal challenges you identify as limiting people from achieving their potential?
The mindset. Mindset, culture, environment. What am I saying? Talk to young people who tell me, I'm okay the way I am. After all, nobody in my family has been to university. Family has held you back. But you feel if you do a small course in college, then you're the epitome of success. You understand what I'm saying? So that holds people back. And the mindset, when you don't believe within you that you can do it. And then culture. Culture has said maybe you come from a place that if you're a woman, you can't reach a certain level. If you're a woman, your highest form of success is to get married. Who said women should do PhDs? Who said women should do masters? So that limits people. So when I talk to people, and I believe my next few months, the near future, I want to do a lot of African tours to liberate the mind of the Africans with other like-minded people. From here, I'll be going to Zambia with the radical entrepreneur, Dumisani. And there's a way we have to open the minds of Africans, because we have been taught to be comfortable in poverty. So it's our mindset. Actually, it starts with our mind. It's as simple as that. It starts with the mind. You see, we are here in this great building here. This was somebody's idea. It was in somebody's mind. It was put in paper. So it first starts here. And if you are messed in the mind, sir, there's nowhere you're going.
How are we going to overcome these challenges?
We have to speak. We'll travel all over Africa if we have to. We also have to have government that are putting laws into place that even the information that media is churning out must also be positive to our African society. We can't just infiltrate our media spaces with a lot of things that are not very, very good. Nowadays, before I came here, by the way, I was handling a case of a young boy, 16-year-old boy, who slapped the mother in front of the father. 16, in Africa. I mean, when I was 16, even thinking about answering my father or my mother, I would just keep quiet to myself. But where has that come from? A movie somewhere? Social media somewhere? So government must also put laws into place, to be honest with you, sir. Because now we are being fed with things that are messing our children. I was shocked when I saw something about TikTok, that the algorithms for Africa is a lot of fun, dancing challenges. But in China, the young people are seeing how to create apps, how to do great things, science and mathematics. But they have set the ones for Africa to be just entertainment, entertainment, entertainment. That is why being an influencer in Africa is the easiest thing. All you need to do is walk naked and you'll have 1 million followers. Because they have messed up with our mind. If you are a thinker, if you are a pathfinder, if you are somebody who wants to speak to the future generation, nobody wants to listen to you. But go and see celebrities walking with beer and whiskey and washing their hands and throwing money like this. People love those things. And I'm not putting down the celebrity lifestyle. People will celebrate it. But what kind? People are looking for fame, but not for greatness. Somebody said, not every famous person is great, but every great person is famous.
mentioned government regulating media and this what you advancement in technology like TikTok and how they are popular for Africa.
Yes.
But then there is human rights issue. People have freedoms. They can choose for themselves. Some would want to dance for the internet.
Yes.
So won't there be a collision between freedoms, human rights, and
Yeah.
the setting of society in the direction that you think is right?
True. And
because this might be just the opinion.
absolutely. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with dancing. I've danced with my daughter on TikTok. I mean, it's good to have fun. But if that is a be all and end all, there's a problem. And yes, to some extent, there's some so-called human rights organizations that have a very dark agenda. Do you know there's some who are trying to tell us that you cannot discipline your 13-year-old. You cannot discipline your 10-year-old. That if you pinch your 10-year-old, you can be arrested. My brother, when you are growing up, if we do something wrong in the estate and our neighbor finds that, our neighbor will beat us, take us. A lot has been put in our heads. We need to unlearn some things and just go back to how we used to be. It's like sometimes your phone. When it starts becoming slow, it's the speeds, you'll be told there are too many things there. Then when you check on the photos, maybe there are 20,000 photos. What are you told to do? Remove some. There's so much we need to remove. There's nothing new to learn. We just need to unlearn some new things. It's as simple as that. I mean, think about the years of old, how we used to grow, how we were when we were growing up. I remember in the estate we'd play with kids from other homes. That is building our social depth and interactions. But now, do you see that? No. Why? The kids at home, because they have super speed internet. They're watching movies and that, and even in church, when a kid is playing and making noise, they're not told shut up. They're given the phone. Say, okay, fine, be busy. So you've also lost even the authority as parents. Now, you know, when I was growing up, if I did something wrong and you had gone to visit an uncle or friends and my dad and mom were there, all they would need to do is give you a look and you stop. So we just need to go back to those days of discipline, those days of social interactions. We have friends that I have friends that I grew up with. There's a friend of mine called Eddie Karanja, you know, my friend from when we were in school. Today, we are all grown. In our 40s, we are still friends. Why? When we were growing up, we would play with rain, we would go ride bicycles. So we bonded. In this day and age, the only friends we have are the ones who follow us on the internet. But we don't have this interaction. What happens 10 years from today? What happens 15 years from today? We'll have depressed people, we'll have lonely people, and a confused world. And that's where we are heading. That's where we are heading, I'm telling you. It's not. Go to the estates. We're not seeing kids jumping and playing and playing. In fact, let me tell you something. I have seen it more, and I say this respectfully, in what they call the slums area. There is a lot of togetherness in those areas. But the so-called affluent people, you're living in a 10-bedroom mansion and you only have one child with internet, and the child is at home alone, but as long as the child has Wi-Fi, child is okay. Mom, dad, don't worry, I'm okay. Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi. And looking at the wrong things. Yeah.
You never know who is communicating to.
That's it. Pedophiles are communicating with children. Crazy people are communicating with children.
And where we've discussed personal and individual struggles and the challenges, corporation is facing some of these challenges. Growth is narrowing, and what do the CEOs and the boards, what do they need to do to see growth in a society that is as challenges?
See, what is happening when I think about the companies and all these things, over and above Corona, besides Corona, why are companies not growing? Because you cannot separate you, the person, and you, the employee. So if you're not okay in your personal life, you will not give your best as an employee, all right? And your productivity is reduced by 20 to 25%. Then the company will not do well, and that's how profits are affected and people are laid off. Yes, we talk about Corona, Ebola, and all other factors, but we have lost what we call personal development goals, whereby I want to build myself as a person. If you walk out of your house depressed, sir, when you go to your place of work, when you sit at your desk, you're still depressed. Depression will not tell you, let me give you time from 8 to 5. When you go home, I'll wait for you at the door. No. So now, do companies, sir, nowadays, do they spend money? Do they have budgets to grow their employees? Personal growth? Inviting speakers? You understand? We need to go back to that. And that is where, by the way, and I'll tell you this without going into much details, speakers go to Europe, paid a lot of money to speak to staff. Africans, some companies there will tell you, what for? What do you need that for? My company is making money. Well, you could have made more if only you knew what your people are going through. It's as simple as that. If you are depressed at home, as a CEO, you'll be depressed as a CEO as well in your office. In your big office with leather seats and 5 secretaries, you'll still be depressed.
Talking of human capacity development and capacity building at workplaces, well, people they tend to say to learn on the job. They want you to learn on the job, to gain experience on the job. How does that pan out? Or what is your view?
It is good and can be dangerous. Then you're saying learn on job training, but has that person been built enough to handle pressure? Can that person have the agility to twist and turn, to try this today, tomorrow you're told to do something else? Yes, you can have all the mechanisms as an employer, or this has been set into place, but is the individual ripe enough to handle that kind of pressure? And if the individual is not ripe enough to handle that kind of pressure, even if they are very educated, they will not perform. So you cannot separate the individual and the employee. And that's a message we'll take all over Africa. I mean, why should we spend millions on personal development? Why should we spend millions to bring these inspirational speakers to speak to us? I would rather inject that money into a project. Fine. You'll inject that money into a project in 2023, January. And by 2023 February, it's looking good. But 2023 August, you'll realize half of your staff are walking dead. And then 2024, you'll start seeing the repercussions of ignoring what you should have done in January 2023. Focus, foresight, insight. It's as simple as that. And that's where other companies are thriving. Africa must wake up. Must. And that is why I'm even here in Kampala. It can't be you wake up every day to earn a salary. If that is your driving factor, you're in trouble. If you only have one source of income, you're in trouble. Because you'll be sleeping at night. You'll sleep as an employee. You'll wake up as a former employee.
On top of not building capacity for employees, employees are most times, I don't want to use burdened, but burdened by targets. You have to achieve this, you have to achieve this. How is this affecting human resource corporation?
It is because you are raising bitter people. We are raising a target-driven society, but not personal care society. If you make me feel important, I'll give my best automatically. But it's loop-sided. Whack, 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 whack. Perform. So there's pressure. You're getting people when they leave work, they have to go and have 7 beers. I said, what's up? The pressure, targets. And we've had that statement a lot. Target, target. Try something different. Show me you care. Show me you care about me. You know, there's a CEO who gave an amazing story. At some point, once a month, on a Friday, that day, no targets. It was people talking to each other about their families. I ask you, how's your son? He's been playing soccer. How far has it gone? Oh, how's your wife? She was unwell the other day. Is she getting better? And then on Saturday, they decide a department, we are coming to your house with shopping. Listen to me. Nobody, in fact, wanted to leave that company. Secondly, when that CEO retired, people complained until the board gave him another 5-year contract. So you find that people just work and they give their best. If they came to visit me when my wife was sick, my wife will be waking me up every morning. Hey, honey, you are getting late for work. Please go. That's a family. And then what happens? People perform. But target, target, target. And target is important because profit must be made. Target, target, target. I'll give you your target and then I'll resign. And then you have a high turnover of people. So you're having new people all the time. So you're taking 1 step forward and 5 steps back. But if you have people, the retention capacity and percentage is very high, that company will go far. But you have to show people you care, and then they will care about what you employ them to do.
From your experience talking to people, how does these pressures at work, let's say, affect family? For example, the pressures at work, how does it affect me when I go back?
Right.
How does it affect me, my colleague when he goes back?
Greatly, it affects her because you get somebody saying, somebody's being asked by the spouse, hey, today you're late. Yeah, I have targets to meet. So you don't even talk, you're all angry at each other. Or your children sleep before you get into the house. The house help is the one doing homework with them. They wake up while you have left again because of pressure. So it affects the family unit because we are in what we call a heated oven society. So families are not spending time together. Your children are not seeing their father and their mothers. We are giving presents, gifts, but our presence is not there because of the pressures at work. There's Japan, people who are supposed to innovate in their offices, their beds. They're told after thinking, take an hour or 2 in the afternoon, sleep, wake up, think hard, think ideas. Now even here in Africa, when I leave home, sometimes I go to the studio, you have a TV interview, and at 5:30 in the morning, I'm on the road going to the studio. Let me tell you, I meet kids who are as young as 8 on the road, going to school. Surely. How comes? If this was the reason, if this was the foundation to success, Africa should be a first world continent. At 5 a.m. you're hearing buses in estates picking kids to go to school. Huh? And another school in Europe, at 9 o'clock is when the class is starting. At 3:15 they're done. 6 p.m., 7 p.m. kids are going back home with big bags. And they've been given homework that will keep them awake again until 10 o'clock. And then by 5, they have to be up to be taken to school. Africa, I cry for Africa. It's not how many hours, it's how smart we work. So our kids hate school.
Yeah, one thing I noticed is in the West, boarding schools are usually for the poor. Because they can't really sustain their but here in Africa, boarding schools are for the rich. Are we copying and pasting the wrong content from the West as Africans?
I believe so. We are copying a lot of things that are wrong. And that's what I was saying when we started. There's some things we need to unlearn. Sometimes we take our kids to boarding school not because we think it's the best idea, but it's because we're too busy to have them at home. So giving somebody else that responsibility. Not all, of course, but the people, if they're honest, they'll tell us they've taken their kids there because of that. So we have to unlearn many, many things.
We are coming from a pandemic.
Yes, sir.
happening causing issues with the economy, rising inflation, and what we call the new normal. From your perspective, are you saying, do you anticipate or do you see the old normal we had, like where things were really normal?
We can never go back there again. The new normal is not knowing what will happen tomorrow. We've finished Corona, largely. Until in Uganda dealing with Ebola. And we have also, sorry to say this, wicked people who, as you wake up to change lives, they wake up to see how they'll affect lives. What will they throw into the atmosphere for somebody else to make money? There are some things that have been created to make sure cancer does not die. Because some farmers, the pharmacy companies, must make money. So even as you wake up every day to change lives, there's somebody waking up to kill lives. And that's why the good people must keep speaking. So we can never go back to those days. We're living in wicked times that we don't know. We know of countries that have started a war in Africa so that they can sell arms to the Africans. So somebody is making money as we are burying people in Africa. So we just have to be alert. And that is why I feel people, like-minded people across Africa, must come together and hold hands and rise Africa back to its glory.
You said we can't go back to the normal ways we used to live.
Yes.
What's the future like? Catastrophic? Peaceful? We have technology that is making life easy? What?
The future belongs to those who are alert. Simple as that. The future belongs to those who are alert. It will be catastrophic to some, but good to others. It depends. Is your inner eye clear? Does it have clarity? Now, we woke up one day and there was Corona, remember? People were fired. It means if you are still in employment, you have to have another stream of income. The future belongs to you. Because something else will happen. And guess what? Like they were fired, you will also be fired. So you have to learn and start dealing with it. And the ones who are fired, not to cry for too long. Finish your crying, wipe your tears, and start some businesses. Even God asks Moses, what do you have in your hands? Everybody has the capacity to do something. The gentleman who is recording us right now, with his camera, he can do great things. There's a friend of mine who took one photo of a zebra being eaten. It made her millions. Not waiting to be called. Oh, like the guy with the camera, when he goes on holiday, he should have the camera all the time. He can just take one shot to change his life. But the others with the camera just waiting for a phone call. When is the next interview? When is the next? No, you just get one shot and that's it. One recording and that's it. Just that. And we need to wake up to that fact that whatever you have in your hands is enough. I'm doing an interview right now. I may say a statement, just one statement, one, that will land into a king's office and changes my life. But then, who recorded it? There's a guy behind the camera. It also changes his life. Who interviewed me? It is you. So we have to always be alert. The guy who started Zoom, the communication app, did not start Zoom because of Corona. He started Zoom many years before Corona, but he was alert, thinking. During Corona, the value of Zoom was much more than 7 airlines combined. But when he started it, nobody thought of much about it. But he was alert. Corona came, he became a multi-millionaire while others were crying. And his was not killing people. He just sat and said, hang on a minute, the world is becoming fast-paced. The world is becoming busy. Let me create an app that can make somebody in Uganda, another one, a colleague in Kenya, another one in London, have a meeting at the same time. And because of that, Corona comes, the guy becomes a billionaire while changing lives.
Where should the Africans focus
The youth. That's it. We're feeding the youth with gossip. The African youth just love gossip. Which celebrity is dating who? Who has left who? Who has done what? Why did that person die? Was it a sacrifice? Those are the things our youth are being fed with. A 15-year-old is being fed with such nonsense. And yet a 15-year-old in Europe is being taught how to Bitcoin, is being taught all these financial analysis things. Is being taught shares and all those things. Forex. A 15-year-old in Japan is being taught on Forex. A 40-year-old in Africa is a gossip blogger. We're in trouble. We're in trouble. Sir, we're in trouble. But we're not seeing. And that's why I like Rwanda. Rwanda has very young people in high government positions. The president has a meeting, I think once a year or something, just meeting the young people. He has seen something. I remember when the government of Rwanda had a deal with Arsenal Football Club to promote on their Arsenal shirts, visit Rwanda. People said to him, and they're complaining from other countries, why are you spending money in Europe? The people are dying in Africa. People are dying in your country of poverty. He's so far. If you bring in foreign investments through tourism and foreign travel, those who are dying will stop dying because money is being injected. Then the economy becomes stronger. Employment goes up. You understand? I mean, the employment opportunities are far better. And you see, when you see like an eagle, chickens must fight you. But eagles never argue with chickens.
You mentioned Rwanda.
Yes.
How does other African countries compare?
Rwanda is one of the youngest African countries, isn't it?
Yeah.
But one of the most progressive. It's as simple as that. I mean, I have not met His Excellency President Kagame personally. He's a man I follow. I think he's a man whose leadership must be studied in a university. Why? You are bringing a country back from the brink of despair and darkness. You are healing a country, stabilizing a country, and preparing a country for the future. That is high-level leadership. Doing three major things at the same time. Many other people will just concentrate on healing the country. You are healing, stabilizing, and preparing for the future. I mean, Chogan, this international conference, the king was there. They're all going to Rwanda. Not because they're bribing. They have seen something. It's a young country compared to other countries in Africa. But for me, it's like a lastborn moving faster than the siblings ahead of him.
Is it a governance issue for the countries that are not progressive?
Is it?
It's a governance issue.
Absolutely.
Leadership.
Everything rises and falls on leadership. Even the Bible says, oil flows from above, down to the beard, and to the robe of Aaron. So it's all about leadership. Everything rises and falls on everything. That is why, even in football, the coach doesn't play. But if the team does not win, the players are not fired, the coach is the one who's fired. I heard His Excellency Kagame speaking the other day, and he was challenging Africans, his fellow heads of states. Why can't we do this? Why do we have to bank on foreign aid? You know, one time I saw a video a few years ago. My goodness, I was saddened. You know, when you see African presidents shaking hands with another European president, and we think he was the only one. I saw a video that they were all lined up, and then the one European president is standing there. And one by one, President one come, shake hand, move, shake hand, move. But what we are seeing them release is just one photo with the president. But behind the scenes, all presidents are being lined up. It's painful for us. And we need to have, to be honest, progressive presidents.
You mentioned that the future of Africa is in the youth.
Yes.
And what potential do you see in African youth?
There's so much potential. Sir, there's so much potential. The African youth are like an empty jug, just waiting to be filled with wells of wisdom and direction. We are not. It's painful. It is painful. We may not see it now, but 10 years from now, we'll see the pain. When somebody who's 15 is at 25, but has no future, has no focus, has nothing. Painful, to say the least. Bible also says, bring up a child in the way that they should go, and when they grow, they will not depart from it. So there's something about bringing up somebody when they're a child. It's painful. I'm saddened, sir. I'm saddened, and I wish we have more leaders, and I can name a few leaders who I think will take this continent to the next level. I mean, in Kenya now we have a 56-year-old president. That's a fairly young man. You understand? Who rose from being a chicken seller. So there is what we call inspiring of the youth, that you too can make it. If a chicken seller, armed with determination, prayer, and focus, can ascend to the highest office in the land, you too can do it. That's what we need for Africa.
They say life starts at 40.
Right.
Somebody who has not progressed is 40, 35 years, a couple of decades. Is there a chance?
Yes, sir.
Is it possible for life to begin and restart at 40?
Life can even restart at 60. I'm a preacher. Luke chapter number 15, the prodigal son. The Bible says when he came back to his senses, he got up and went back to his father. Father can mean your place of direction, your place of counsel, your place of wisdom. Yes, but not, that statement can be right and wrong. Wrong when people say, I'm 35, let me have fun until I'm 40. That's a lie. But if somebody maybe just missed the way genuinely, conquering the wrong mountain successfully, and at 40 or 45 or 50 realized they had made a mistake, they can turn around. But not going around gallivanting and having fun because you'll start being serious at 40. Not at all. So that statement can be both misleading and also directional. So even at 60, as long as you're still alive, you can do something.
From a Christian perspective,
Yes, sir.
Where do you draw the line between, for example, accepting, say, a bribe, giving a bribe, or overpricing, or, for example, in charge of a corporation, company, profits, and the opportunity to exploit customers.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of things that defies the nature of good governance.
Yeah.
How should the Christian behave in such?
You should not compromise. Have we all compromised at some point in our life? I think we all have, to be honest with you, in one or another. But we should strive to grow deeper in the things of God, that we reject those things. Because that's what being a Christian is all about. It's as simple as that, denying yourself for the sake of Jehovah. That's where your reward is. But yes, sometimes you are stopped by a policeman and you are late for a meeting, and it's like, if you don't give me something, I'll give you a ticket and you have to come to court. Sometimes that's what a Christian is being. Yes, you go to court and you waste the whole day there. But that policeman, you have preached to that policeman. But wow, this person has a value system. None of us is perfect. Trust me, sometimes you're driving and you're honking and you want to say something crazy, and sometimes you even insult the other driver. But every day we learn. Every day we learn. Are we ready to learn? That's where the rubber meets the road. If you're ready to learn, God will pour into us. That's it. Don't overprice anything. Don't overquote. Don't tell the person, add $1,000 when we pay you, give me my $1,000. Don't. But we get those temptations every day. I have turned down some movie. I'm an actor. I have turned down some roles, some movies, because at the end it's glorifying the wrong thing. But at the same time, I have acted as a drug dealer, as a violent man in marriage, because at the end it does not glorify that. The message is to say, don't do this. You understand what I'm saying? So I've looked at some scripts and I've said, no, this I cannot, because the end game is glorifying something that goes against my value system. Yeah.
And then an adventure quality, one love, oneness. For example, if you have a friend who like you said, glorifies something else at the end of the day, do the friendship, you accept the friend and the way they are, where do you find the line?
Sometimes by being around those people or those people being around you, their life changes. But the Bible says in Amos 3:3, how can two walk together unless they agree? What happens is that when there are serious fundamental issues, there's a way you can say goodbye. But also, you can't go around saying goodbye to everybody, because that's pride. Because even you, there are things in you that you need somebody else to help you deal with. You understand? It's just when there are very serious fundamental issues that maybe somebody is taking cocaine and they have to come to your house and every time they must have a sniff, there you say, no. But if somebody has been struggling with alcohol and you know they're trying to stop, and when they come to your house, they dance to your tune, it's tea and soda or juice, but you can see they're struggling, but they're working hard. But not somebody saying, because you're my boy, you know, some cocaine here, and I know you not report me, let me take it. No, that's where you draw the line, sir. Yeah.
And as we conclude,
Yes.
What should Ugandans take home from you?
Wow, what I think Ugandans, and Uganda is very close to my heart because I'm from Busia originally, you know, and I have very many Ugandan friends. I have a friend who was in the UK when we were in school, David Odongo. I mean, and I'm looking forward to seeing them here, you know. I think the message I have for Ugandans is hold on one more day. Help is on the way. Mental health issues has taken over this world. People feel there's no reason to live tomorrow. But mostly let me speak to the men. Men are walking with death certificates in their pocket. Men are walking, wondering when they'll die. Men are walking under so much pressure and we don't talk. It is okay not to be okay, but it's not okay to die in silence. And to the ladies, I know sometimes culture tells us a lady is not supposed to achieve great heights. I want to challenge every lady. Achieve the greatest of heights that you possibly can. Let's grow together. Yes. And I love my people in Uganda. I've eaten something that I like. Groundnut sauce and something. And matoke. It's called katogo.
It depends on the way it has been prepared.
Yes, there's groundnut sauce with the matoke inside. Yes. I love it. God bless you and I'll be back again.
Right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for your time, sir.
It has been a pleasure sharing all this information with you. It has been insightful and we appreciate so much. We look forward to doing more such interviews with you, and we wish you a very good stay in Kampala. So.